What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. And hey, do I feel like crapping on Raw tonight? We'll see. As we kicked off the show, even though people had delete signs for Matt Hardy, we kicked it off with Sasha Banks pretty much becoming the new Raw Women's Champion again, as people chanted, "You deserved it," and she went on and pretty much said how she used to watch the show with her mom, wishing her hero Eddie Guerrero a happy birthday as people did Eddie chants, and that she was a two-time women's champion, that anybody could be like her if she wanted to, uh, all the little girls out there. But she thought about her match with Charlotte, and guess what? Which people, had to go on to say, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do another match, and here's the idea: it'll be a Hell in a Cell match. As Charlotte came out, Rusev interrupted her then, as pretty much Rusev and Lana got in the ring and looked at both of them, saying no one cares about your stupid women's revolution, or that you main evented Raw last week. Rusev he's the main event wherever he goes, as Charlotte pretty much took the mic away from him, and said, that title may be on her waist, but she pretty much said, who the hell do you think you are? You don't disrespect the queen. And Charlotte said, it's gonna be a Hell in a Cell match, and you're on. But Rusev and Lana pretty much went on to say that her and Sasha need to know their place, and you guys whine like little girls out here about the Hell in a Cell match, but it's only for real men like Rusev, and real men only belong in the Hell in a Cell match until both of them knock Lana to the ground and double drop kick Rusev out of the ring like a chump once again. Next thing you know, the man that gets booed every time, Roman Reigns, came out. Reigns comes out, he gets booed out of the building. Just booed out. It just, why? Didn't even make a save. He just came out and looked at looked at Rusev, and Rusev and Lana backed off then, which is still pretty weird. Now they made a tag team match later on the night. It's kind of odd because, okay, first Sasha and Charlotte are enemies. But no, we're gonna team up together. We're gonna take out Rusev, but then we gotta face each other. I'm gonna have Charlotte team up with Rusev tonight, which makes no sense. And once again, Rusev looks like a chump every time. Never gets no momentum out of this, as Roman pretty much destroys him every week. And as for this Hell in a Cell match with the women, I don't know what to say about this. This feud has gone on long enough because this is pretty much what the women's division on Raw is really, between three people. The Sasha and Charlotte show, and Bayley featuring Dana Brooke. But I just look at this like, do we really need to see a Hell in a Cell match? Are any of these women really going to jump off the cage? Are they going to do some extreme stuff where they're going to be bloodied out there and everything? No, I highly, highly doubt that. It's not going to happen. Like, really, none of that is going to happen. No one's going to, I don't even, come on, is Charlotte really going to do a jump off the cage, some moonsault corkscrew, or Sasha's going to do that? Like some people say, both these women can barely get out of a match without injuring themselves already. Let's make it twice as worse for the Hell in a Cell. But people say it's the women's revolution. Do we have to go back on gimmicks to help the revolution instead of just a straight up wrestling match? But no, we gotta make it the Hell in a Cell. It's just weird. Like, we really need to go with this. I'm not saying they're gonna have a bad match, but I don't know. Sasha just gets injured after what happened at SummerSlam, and I can't tell what's gonna happen next with this. New Day came out. Since we're in Oakland, California, talking about the Splash Brothers and other people, we talk about Cesaro and Sheamus, but Sheamus was still hot garbage as Cesaro went against Kofi. Kofi won as Sheamus and Cesaro kept bickering, as Sheamus looked through his phone throughout the whole match. So, yeah, that happened. But I don't know why they're teaming up. And they talked about Goldberg tonight. Well, we're going to get to the Goldberg thing, because then we're pretty much going to set up Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, too, people. As, pretty much then after that, Bayley went against, I don't know where they keep finding these jobbers. I don't know why Bayley's doing squash matches now, since this is where she's from, I believe. She went against Cammy Fields. Bayley won, Bayley to belly. Bayley was over, and then after that, Dana Brooke attacked her. which they got to give her something to do since, you know, barely threw her into the wall last week. Jericho in the back. Once again, the best thing on the show, really. Jericho talking about the gift to Jericho as Truth was listening in on him. Sin Cara and Lance Dorado went against Tony Nese and Drew Gulak, which pretty much a 3-minute match, really. And I don't know. They shook hands. Sin Cara and then won the match, which this cruiserweight just kind of winning left. Like, the crowd cared a little, but it just kind of, it came and went. That's what it was. Foley and Stephanie came out, talked about, you know, No Mercy was great, but Hell in a Cell is going to beat them, because they talked about Hell in a Cell matches, and Foley talked about the Hell in a Cell that, you know, the women will make history being the first ever Hell in a Cell women's match, and it'll be three Hell in a Cell matches, which, my God, is everyone going to get one now? It's going to be Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell for the Universal title. It's going to be Rusev versus Roman Reigns for the U.S. title in Hell in a Cell. Now it's Sasha versus Charlotte in a Hell in a Cell match. But Owens says he doesn't want to be in that match. Him and Jericho were pissed at it. And Jericho, you know, so I've been here for years and everything. I've never liked you all. You know what? You guys are on the list, the stupid list, as people went nuts for him. But Stephanie says, you know what, Jericho, maybe you could go on with Seth Rollins. And if you beat Seth Rollins, you will be added to the Hell in a Cell match, and it will be a triple threat match then. As they went back to Seth Rollins in the back, he said obsolete, and the people went on to chant delete, delete, delete. They said he was going to take out Jericho tonight. But I don't know, it's way too many Hell in a Cell matches. Why? Just why? And I don't know, Hell in a Cell matches aren't really as great as they used to be anyway. I will admit the Undertaker and Brock Lesnar one was brutal. For once, actually bloody and everything. But a lot of these has never really felt that good because they barely use the cage. It's more of a street fight, just using weapons. It looks like they barely ever use the cell. Nobody's going to do nothing crazy. Nobody's going to crash everywhere. Nobody's going to bleed or jump off the cell Mick Foley style or whatever crazy stuff you want to do. It's not happening. And, you know, some people are going to say Foley's just a glorified cheerleader for the women's division, especially with this Hell in a Cell match, thinking it's going to work. But do we really need 3? No. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel in the ring, ready to face Enzo and Cass. But the club took him out, and Axel and Axel and Bo Dallas want some real competition. But once again, directionless Sami Zayn right there. Still just nowhere at one point. Him and Neville pretty much teamed up and took out Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas pretty much left Axel to be beaten in the ring, so that happened. Which was just pretty much a squash match. It really, I don't know if they're going to make them a team in that. R-Truth went against Titus O'Neil. Why? Over the whole candy bar thing? Truth won, whatever. TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick talked about, you know, their lies about the N64 broke and he used to take him to this trip and everything, and Perkins punched him to the ground. Strowman went against Carrot Top and black version of Tyler Breeze, White Carlito Carrot Top, or the Splash Brothers, Stephen and Clay. Saxton pretty much interviewed Strowman after he beat them, and Strowman wants to address Foley again, says I want better competition next week. Sasha Banks was talking to Reigns in the back then, Roman Reigns, and they were ready to do this as Sasha Banks had a game plan for the night, as Charlotte said, pretty much told Lana, like, you will never step up to me, because she would destroy her, which is true. Then, once again, Roman Reigns and Sasha went against Rusev and Charlotte. Sasha won with the bank statement as Reigns hit a spear simultaneously. Pretty much, once again, I don't know, the challenges look really weak right now. Rusev just can't get even one thing over Roman Reigns at this point. Charlotte and Sasha is almost like the same old thing here and there, so yeah. And Tom Phillips, he interviewed Jericho, and Owens in the back is Jericho once again, calling him a stupid idiot and calling him Felipe or whatever Phillips on the list. And you just ended on the list. Now, here's a more interesting part tonight. Paul Heyman came out, talked about the video game with Goldberg and stuff, and that Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar over 10 years ago at WrestleMania. But Brock Lesnar has challenged him to a fight, because Goldberg has one up on him. The Beast versus the Myth. Icon versus Icon. And this isn't no wannabe gangsters or pseudo Samoans out here, Oakland. This is going worldwide, and that Goldberg would be beaten, victimized, and conquered by Lesnar. Because it's Suplex City, you ain't Goldberg. You're next. And next week, Goldberg will be here on Raw in the first time in over 12 years. Goldberg will be here on Raw. So there you go. Set up the match and probably be a Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble most likely, which they're desperate for ratings to get Goldberg on here anyways. So it's a ratings kind of thing. TJ Perkins went against Arya Davari's brother, which I was somewhat surprised to see back. Perkins won the match pretty quick. Kendrick was on commentary. Crowd was pretty much quiet for this match, so it didn't really go anywhere. And when we get to the main event, Rollins went against Chris Jericho. It's probably one of the better main events of the night. So it pretty much ended with I really thought Jericho was gonna win, but Seth Rollins won. Kevin Owens then attacked from behind, but Seth was able to take both out, and hit a pedigree on Jericho as Owens backed off. And honestly, Raw wasn't really much to talk about other than the Goldberg announcement. You're going to count 3 Hell in a Cell matches at Hell in a Cell, which we don't really need. And the women's one, I'm just not sure at this point. It's too many of them. And it's like, do we really need all these Hell in a Cell matches? It beats the point. Hell in a Cell hasn't been great in nearly years now, so I just don't know why. But at least we got Paul Heyman being the master of the mic that he is, talking about setting up the Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg match too, and we'll see how this goes. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.